Hello, I'm Lindsay Mendick, and this year's Power of Women Festival is themed Reclaim and Reconnect. I'm very proud and excited to be joined by Tracey Emin. Hi, Tracey, how are you?
Hello, Lindsay. I think for me, over the last 2 years, my reconnecting with myself has been very different. From my answers now are very different from how they would have been before. Like, somebody just said about having a wank, right? And I would have probably put that down as a number one, but it's not. I don't have any sexual feelings like that anymore. I don't have any connection with myself like that. So that's quite a thing that's hard, because how do I feel all of me? That's a big loss. My younger self, if I was your age, that would be probably number one on the list. I haven't been able to really read since my surgery, which is apparently not uncommon.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's like if you've been through some kind of terrible trauma, sitting down reading a book is actually really difficult. But all of these things are things that you do that you have, the connecting things are to do with things that have got nothing to do with anybody else. They're just internal to you. So my number one would probably be drawing, because when I draw, I go into another world, and it takes me, and especially painting, that definitely takes me. And drawing is a solitary act, because you don't draw with somebody else. You draw alone.
I tried to draw a cat.
But but it's sweet. I drew a cat the other day. Where's my cat?
Oh, that looks almost like cat person though.
Yeah, cat no, it doesn't. It looks like a cat sitting down. And what else I drew the other day? I drew this. Two figures dancing, or one figure dancing. And this I like very much. My funeral.
Your funeral?
I think it is, yeah. And, or like shrouded, like wrapped up. And this is interesting. This is very dreamlike, and it's not particularly good drawing, but it's really, really interesting for me, because sometimes I draw things and I don't know what they're going to be, and it's like they tell me something.
So, is it something for a bigger idea, or is it for pleasure?
No, my drawings and never for a bigger idea. They're complete within themselves. So I don't draw to make a painting. I draw to make a drawing, and actually it is a painting because it's watercolor. But it's something which, especially these ones, they're like dreams, they're from another place. So definitely drawing.
That's a brilliant tip. I think we've got one that might be quite similar, because I think art is always meant to be something that's totally for pleasure, but when there's deadlines or when it becomes your job, sometimes I find that the best thing I can do for a day is just have a bed day, which I think for me is like getting outside of just being inside my house, just being on my own and not really seeing or speaking to anyone. I need that probably about 1 day a week, just to be like completely down.
See, so I spend an inordinate amount of time in bed. I spend more time in bed than I do definitely outside. I hardly ever go out the house. Like I went out on Saturday, but it was the first time in a week. I don't like going outside that much, and I don't like doing big social things at all anymore. And I spend like probably 3 or 4 days a week in bed. So I think probably before I could have agreed with you on that. And then also another thing I used to like to do, I used to like to sit in the bath all day long. Like for about no, my record was 7 hours. Okay.
What, in the same bath? Just adding hot water?
Adding hot water, adding things, and I'd have a flask of tea. I'd have something to eat. I'd have all this like stuff around me, my phone. And also I don't FaceTime people or make phone calls, rarely ever, but I do in the bath. because I've got nothing else to do. So it was like a really nice thing, and all womb-like and snug and warm. And my bathrooms are also really nice, by the way. So it's not like just sitting in a cold bit of water like the old days. You know, it really it's kind of pretty pleasurable experience. And but now, though, I don't do that because I'm too worried. But if I stay in the water too long, I'll get an infection. But my big thing, definitely to connect, without a doubt, which is quite similar to what you're saying, is seeing nobody. My mum was the same as well. And when I'm in my house in France, it's not remote. It's only like 15 minutes down to the coast, but I've got no neighbours or anything like that. And it is so wonderful just to be there. I know I'm not going to see anybody for days. And when I go there, I go and do my shopping and then go up to the hill and put my shopping. And I've got a vegetable patch as well. And I've got a war cupboard.
A what cupboard?
A war cupboard. A war cupboard is like all food in it that you can make, you know, like tins of sardines, tins of beans, tins of tomatoes, stuff you can make stuff out of. And with the vegetable patch, it works fine, actually. But and one of my favourite things to do is like I just try to stay on the top of my hill for as long as possible without human contact. And I think I've gone 10 days, which was quite good. I really enjoy that solitary thing. And one of my favourite things before was to fall asleep in my studio at around midnight after drinking about half a bottle of wine, wake up at about 2 a.m, open another bottle of wine, carry on drinking, put music on really quite loud, dance. I've got a big mirror in my studio, dance like a banshee and paint until about 7 a.m, and just be off my face, painting, going crazy, just like, and then go to sleep and then wake up and go, oh my God, what have I done? And be really excited and really fucking turned on and just feel, when I've done something good and it was like magic, I'd just be so happy. But I don't do that anymore because I don't drink anymore. So that's another one. I have no tips for anyone. I have no tips on how to live or what to do. I used to like making soup. I used to always make soup on a Monday and like to see how long my soup would last. It was really nice soup, and I don't do that anymore. What else don't I do that would be I don't know. I don't have any good tips.
I'd say for you, it's definitely water and swimming and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I reconnect in the water.
You
definitely.
do though.
Yeah,
I watched you for 2 hours in the pool.
Yeah, you're right. I swim, and the more I swim, okay, so if I was to say the things that I think are good for me to reconnect with, then I would say swimming is essential, and being in the water and being in another element. And I love being in warm water, and swimming makes me feel so good. It's like a sort of like a meditative thing, like meditation and swimming with the strokes. It's not exercising, it's something much more cerebral for my mind. It's really important, and it stops me from getting depressed, which is really important. Swimming. Reading is one of the greatest things for the mind and for me to connect, because it takes me out of myself. I get into somebody else's mind, which releases me from my own mind, which then gives my mind time to rest, but exercise and enjoy itself. Like by reading is like my mind going on a holiday, which is great. And then I come back to me. Cooking really nice food and being really cozy and comfortable and snuggly is brilliant. That's like really none of the things are rock and roll. They're all the complete opposite. And if anyone knows me really well, like I live a really quiet life. I go to sleep, I go to bed really early. And this was also before I was ill. I'd have like 2 wild nights a week or 1 wild night a week, 24 hours of wildness. And then the rest would be pretty passive.
One of the things that I think is really important is to see older friends.
I mean, friends that are around 58 years old or something.
No, I realised it sounded like that. I do like
little old lady friends.
No, I was talking about friends from like university. I
saw someone the other week, my friend Cindy McIntyre, who I hadn't seen for 41 years.
And how did that feel?
It was brilliant. It was so funny because we were talking and suddenly we both looked at each other and burst up laughing because we realised that I said, "You haven't changed." She said, "No, nor have you." And
No,
there's
it's
something,
nice, isn't it?
especially for me being in Margate, I walk and someone goes, "Tracey," and I look and I think, I don't know them. They go, "We were at school," and I can't remember. But then there's other people and they haven't changed at all. They just look like an older version of when they were little. Yeah. And you're right. Seeing an old friend, someone that's known you for a long time or in a different phase of your life, and then they see you again and you've moved on and you've changed, things have changed, but they still relate to you and you still get on. And I said this the other day about the wax, you know, the candle's melted, but the wax is still there.
Yeah.
You know, things change, things move on, but having a link into your past and still enjoying that, it gives you a good feeling of being quite whole.
Yeah, that's exactly the same way that I feel when I see some of my oldest friends and we can still laugh about the same things. Like there's always like a fear that you change or like that you shape shift throughout your life. And then actually seeing that you still hold those parts integral to yourself, I think can be actually really lovely. And I'd say the one that now I've joined you on, Tracey, because I was so inspired by your motherhood of our animals.
So what's the name of your new baby?
Telly. Because I love Telly.
Am I envious of that name?
Are you?
Yes, I think Telly's such a cool name. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because it's just so, and like if he's doing something naughty, I could say TV, you know what I mean? Like for television.
No, if he's doing something naughty, you go television. But his full name, yeah. But also he does look a little bit like Telly.
He fell asleep on me for like half an hour and I just sat there and I never just sit. And I just sort of sat there and I stroked him. And then like I was like, that was really nice. Yeah.
It's a slippery slope. Half an hour cuddle leads to another half hour cuddle, leads to another half hour cuddle, and then you find out, oh dear, I spent all day cuddling Telly.
Yeah.
And I've done absolutely nothing. And I'm like that with my babies. So having I don't consider myself to have pets. I consider myself to have like little souls that protect me and look after me and keep me company. I think in the last couple of months, if I hadn't have had my cats or kittens, but they've got everyone keeps telling me how big they are, I think I would have been really, really low over a lot of things in my life. And I think having the cats, to be needed, to be wanted, to be needed, to be loved, to be waited for. I come home, they're waiting for me. They talk to me. I talk to them in the morning. I talk to them and they listen. They don't do what I say, but they listen. And to feel, and I suppose it's because I'm, you know, I haven't had children, I haven't been married, and there's a reason for that. I haven't had children and I haven't been married, and that's because no one's asked me and no one wanted to have children with me. And so that puts me in a very different position from, I mean, I guess I never really wanted to either, otherwise I'd have just married some dickhead and that's just got pregnant by anybody. But I've never been interested in that, and I've never been maternal like that. But I am with cats.
I am with dogs. Like I really do, and your cats, children. But like I really like, there's something that I think is just really, I don't have the time to have a child. I definitely don't. And because I love my work so much, but the dog can come to the studio. Oh God, no, I'm here seeing all of these pots like.
No, your dog is going to piss over all your work, right? Your dog is going to knock everything over. Your dog's going to shit on everything. You know, all of these things. It's like, but it would be the same if you have a child, you know, when you really love something, all of those things don't matter, you know?
No.
But you see my cats in the studio, they run up, when they were kittens, they jump and run up the canvas, and they still, and if I'm painting, they run after the drips. Now they just like throw themselves at the canvas. And Teacup just now was sticking her head in my in the water from the watercolors. It's sweet.
Okay, this is one I've got to put some balls of it. I think one of mine is looking back and celebrating, and always celebrating achievements. I think that sometimes we can be so busy, all of us, that the achievements that we do, or the things that we finish, or, you know, they can be so ephemeral that we just kind of, you have such a quick burst of it and you don't sit with it, or you don't look back and be like, God, you know what, I really did a lot last year, or I really tried. And I think actually writing down, or like even just going through what you have done, can be really affirming.
This is really good because you're only 34.
I am only 34.
And you're doing this. Now, had I have done this when I was up until I was about 40, I was always just thinking 5 years ahead, 5 years ahead. What will I be doing in 5 years? 5 years ahead. I never looked back and thought I've achieved this, or I've done this, or I've done that. I only started doing it when I, believe it or not, when I gave up smoking. So when I gave up smoking, I looked back and thought, wow, you know, I haven't smoked for 6 months. I haven't smoked for a year. I haven't smoked for 2 years. I'm like, this is really good. You know, this is an achievement for Tracey, not to have smoked. Yeah, it's like 19 years now or more. No, what? Yeah, 19 years it is now. And now I have 19 years I haven't smoked, and 19, 20 months I haven't drank.
You haven't smoked for 19 years?
No.
Really?
Yes. And I haven't drank for 19 months or 20 months.
God.
Yeah.
I need a bigger bath.
Yes, I know. I'm going to have a bigger something, that's for sure. So basically, like my gallerist, Jay comes to me, Jay goes, you know what I mean, I never quite realised what a monastic life you lived, right? And Lorcan, oh, Tracey, you live like a nun, you know. And people who know me, know, I live in this really quiet, solitary sort of way, you know. And especially when I've got my vegetable patch going, it's like, you know, I'm like living from a different time or something.
But you can't, one of them, I would say, you're reconnecting, is you are quite a good bargain hunter. The joy on your face when you get a bargain, whether it's a Poundland bargain, whether it's go around your house, Tracey, and then you're like, Poundland.
Guess how much? Poundland.
So I'd say I've never seen a woman go, well, I've never seen anyone go through so much joy as that, a bargain.
Yeah, no, but it isn't just about a bargain, is it? It's just like, okay, right, we got nest building.
Yeah.
Right. I get an immense amount of pleasure from my home. Like I say, I'm at home, people go, which one? But I love property and I love my homes. And it's not like I think a lot of that is to do with being homeless 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
Homeless when I was a child with my mum, homeless when I was 16, which was one of the most terrific things, and then homeless again when I was 26. I had nowhere to live, and also I was pregnant. It was like really bad. So I think being for me, home, making a nest, making things beautiful, taking joy, having pleasure in making a little curtain, making things nice, lighting candles, you know, all of those things to me are really, really important.
You kind of love looking at other people or helping other people see bargains for their homes as well.
Go to Poundland. When we first met each other, I was going, yeah, you know, like when people like each other and they go, yeah, let's do something together. I go, let's go to Poundland.
That was one of the scariest texts, or like the weirdest text I've ever got, when I was like, do you want to go to Poundland, from Tracey Emin?
It was much more like, would you like to do something? We can meet up. We go, let's go to Poundland.
I know, but that's why it's so perfect. Made me so happy. I mean, come on, it was too good. That was
No,
amazing.
but what it is though is like, in a serious way, the small things in life give one an immense amount of pleasure. The intimacy of existing, the intimacy of husbandry in your world and in your life, and taking care of the things that are around you or around me. Some people don't care about that at all. Some people love to just live in mess and chaos, and they find that creative and they find that very freeing, and in a very extreme bohemian way. Whereas I have to live with complete order around me. Everyone that knows me, I've got really bad OCD, and I can snap at someone for putting something on the wrong shelf in the fridge. That's why people aren't allowed to unpack my shopping, because of the way that I am about little things like that. But I love order, and I love simplicity, and I love home. I like feeling safe, and I like feeling cozy. Be cozy in your own company. Feel good in your own company. Have self-respect for your own company. Don't get bored, and don't think that you're lonely. When you're on your own and by yourself, you can do anything.
Thanks for watching, and happy International Women's Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Happy International Women's Day. Bye.